So there are many shades of life, many traits in a personality which are yet to be discovered. We come across human beings and we make a perception how that person is going to be. But when we touch their inner chords, we get to know the real self of a person. Today in Munish Jolly's podcast, we have two great personalities. One is our spiritual guru, Mohanji, who despite being the guru speaks about how the rishis, when required, picked up the bow and the arrow to fight adharma. We've also seen one of the great warriors and the patriots in the form of General G.D. Bakshi speak aloud about India's borders, India's connections with the neighbors, and the wars that India has fought. Today, we'll touch the inner chords of General G.D. Bakshi and we'll see how spiritually connected the great warrior of India is. He speaks about his guru. He speaks about what Krishna wants is war, the last resort for all of us. So it's a fusion of two great personalities today on Munish Jolly's Dugout, where a warrior meets a guru. We speak about the human being's focus in this modern era. We speak about the youth and the Gen Zs. Where are they heading towards? All this in Munish Jolly's Dugout. Hello and welcome to Munish Jolly's Dugout. Friends, it has been a great journey for all of us here. This journey also gave us some ideas, and one of them is unique. Today, not one, but we have two great personalities in our show. I'd like to introduce you to General G.D. Bakshi today. Somebody who's fought two wars for India. He worked tirelessly to protect our borders. And he's a known figure in the social media. Along with him is our spiritual master, Guru, Mohanji. Mohanji is guiding millions across the globe that seek peace and harmony day and night. I welcome General G.D. Bakshi and Mohanji.
Thank you.
First of all, before asking Mohanji, I'd like to thank you that you'd been very kind to come for the podcast. That there are stories about the violence going around the world and you've spoken about peace and harmony throughout. How does that happen and what is the formula according to you?
Very simple. It's self-connection. See, if you're connected to yourself fully, you will not harm anybody. If you have not connected with yourself, you see differences. When you see differences, there is no limit to it. You can have any amount of differences. So it is important to have that self-connection perfected, where you see yourself in everybody. So people like me, our attempt is to bring people to themselves so that there will be harmony in the world. People who sell religions or those kind of stuff in the world, they are insecure. See, if you are fully secure, you will not want to harm anybody. If you're insecure, then you don't know where is the limit. So, world is as it is, but you can change yourself.
दोस्तों, आज हम अपने पॉडकास्ट को बायलिंगुअल पॉडकास्ट रखेंगे. हिंदी में ज्यादातर आप जनरल जीडी बख्शी को सुनेंगे और एक ऐसा अंश आप उनका सुनेंगे जो शायद आपने पहले कभी नहीं सुना. हम उनकी स्पिरिचुअल जर्नी के बारे में बात करेंगे, लेकिन एक तरफ हमारे गुरु यहाँ बैठे हैं जो बताते हैं कि हमारी स्पिरिचुअल जर्नी कैसी होनी चाहिए. उसमें फॉरगिवनेस होनी चाहिए, आपको त्याग करना चाहिए. और एक तरफ वो जाबाज अफसर जिन्होंने देश के लिए जान की बाजी लगाने की ठान ली थी. तो मैं ये जनरल जीडी बख्शी से पूछना चाहूंगा कि ये दोनों चीजें आपकी परिभाषा में कैसे मेल खाती हैं कि आपने फॉरगिव भी करना है लेकिन अपनी लाज भी बचानी है देश के लिए.
बड़ा दिलचस्प सवाल है. देखिए, मैं कहना ये चाहूंगा कि भारत एकमात्र देश है, गुरु जी के आदेश से मैं बोलूंगा, कि जिसमें ब्रह्म क्षात्र, देयर इज अ ट्रेडिशन, सत्य से बाहर. हमारे सत्य जब भीषण अत्याचार होता है, यदा यदा ही धर्मस्य, तब तो भगवान भी आके शस्त्र उठा लेते. तब भगवान ने भी आके शस्त्र उठाए थे. यदा यदा ही धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत. तो कहने का तात्पर्य ये है कि गुरु जी बात कर रहे हैं उस स्थिति की जहां एकत्व है, विभिन्नता से हटकर हम एकत्व पे आ रहे हैं। हम सब एक है, सब ब्रह्म है। लेकिन ये ब्रह्म के बोध इतना आसान नहीं है। एक छोटी सी कहानी आपकी आज्ञा से सुनाना चाहूंगा कि एक ब्रह्मचारी गए एक गुरु के पास और उनसे वो वेदांत का उनको मार्ग मिला कि सब ब्रह्म है। तो कुछ समय के बाद बोला, हाँ जी सब ब्रह्म है, अब मैं सब ज्ञान हो गए। और वो जा रहा था शहर की तरफ गुरु के पाँव छूकर, तो सडनली देखा लोग भाग रहे, तितर बितर भाग रहे, हड़कंप मचा हुआ है। तो बोले क्या हुआ? तो देखा अरे वो हाथी पगला गया है। तो वो हाथी पे बैठा जो महावत था, बोले भाई भागो भागो, ये मेरे कंट्रोल में नहीं है। तो ये ना सोचा, अरे मेरे को तो बताया था सब ब्रह्म है, मैं ब्रह्म हूं, ये ब्रह्म है, ठीक है, मैं क्यों डरूं इस हाथी से? तो वो खड़े रहे, सब भाग गए। वो हाथी आया जी, उसने वो महावत चिल्लाता रहा, ए भाई हट जा हट जा। उसने पकड़ा अपनी सूंड में, उठा के पटका बेचारों को, बड़े मुश्किल से उसने उनकी जान बचाई। बेचारा जब उठा, चोट वोट खाई, बहुत उसको क्लेश हुआ कि महाराज ये तो गलत बोला आपने मेरे को, देखो मैंने आपके कहने पे चला और देखिए मेरा क्या हाल हुआ। तो गुरु ने क्या बोला? बोला तेरे को हाथी में तो ब्रह्म दिखा, जो हाथी पे बैठा था महावत वो ब्रह्म नहीं था। कि कह रहा था हट जा भाई, कि हट जा। इसी ये बोध वेदों के अंदर भी मैं कहना चाहूंगा, 10 राजन युद्ध है, 12 राजन युद्ध है, हमारी परंपरा में महाभारत है, गीता है, कि जब अधर्म इतना बढ़ जाए तो फिर शस्त्र उठाने पड़ते हैं, बट इट शुड बी दी लास्ट रिजॉर्ट।
करेक्ट।
जैसे गुरु जी ने बिल्कुल सही, आखिरी रिजॉर्ट है। और मैं दृष्टता तो बिल्कुल नहीं दिखा सकता, लेकिन मैं कहना चाहूंगा इसके पहले मुझे आत्मबोध हो, द एक्सट्रीमिटी ऑफ ड्यूअलिज्म क्या है, मैं और मेरा शत्रु। शत्रु शब्द वेदों में 75 बार आए, 75 बार शत्रु, बराबरी का शत्रु। और वहां हम क्या सीखते हैं? आई थिंक इट इज अ पार्ट ऑफ आवर ग्रोथ।
एब्सोल्युटली।
गीता कहती है ना हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीर, इस शरीर के नाश हो जाने से इस आत्मा का कुछ नहीं होता। नैनम छंदंती शस्त्राणि नैनम दहती पावक, कि इसको शस्त्र नहीं काट सकते, आग नहीं जला सकती, हवा उड़ा के नहीं भेजा सकती। ये डू वी बिलीव? क्या हम मानते हैं? मैं समझता हूं गुरुजी कि हम सैनिक वी आर ब्लेस्ड। जब धर्म क्षेत्र युद्ध क्षेत्र, गीता का पहला स्टैंजा क्या
जी,
धर्म क्षेत्र युद्ध क्षेत्र कुरुक्षेत्र। इसी जब एक सिपाही खड़ा होता है लड़ाई के मैदान में, चाहे मेरे लोग मरे, मेरे भाई मरे, मैंने अंतड़ियां बाहर आती देखी, और हाथ से वो जवान अपनी अंतड़ियां वापस डाल रहा है, क्योंकि दर्द भी नहीं होती, इतनी जोर से वो उसको चोट लगी कि मेरे को यार डॉक्टर सीधेगा, मैं बच जाऊंगा। वहां में शत्रु के सामने उस मैदान में ये बोलना, नैनम छंदंती शस्त्राणि
जी,
वो आपको पूरा आत्मबोध दिलाएगा। शॉर्टेस्ट मार्ग हमारा।
कृष्ण भगवान ने ये कलयुग का ट्रेंड सेट किया। वन वर्ड, प्रैक्टिकल। वन ऑफ द मेजर थिंग्स आई ऑलवेज बिलीव एज एन इंस्ट्रक्शन टू अस, कृष्ण भगवान ने दिया, हिज पर्पस ऑफ एक्सिस्टेंस should be our purpose of existence. One is helping the helpless. This is our duty, righteous duty. Second is quarantining the harmful. Those who create disturbances, distractions, you got to quarantine. No choice. Third, manage or maintain righteousness. You know, these 3 things are a must of all citizens, of all countries. Another thing I feel is, we had a clear definition of ahimsa. Means we will not go and attack and kill anybody. But if somebody comes and, like just now you said, if somebody comes to attack us, passivity is not ahimsa. That is stupidity. This kind of a passivity we developed, I think, during British rule. Because we never had that passivity before. We always defended. We never offended. We should not offend. We should not attack, kill. Himsa is not it's not going to help us. Also, it leaves regret and guilt. Very difficult to remove from the system. So, we will not go and offend, but at the same time, we should defend ourselves. Not lay down and die. That is, nobody said do that. You see, nobody ever said, please surrender and get killed. We've got to survive. It's part of the instinct of creation, survival. Major instinct is survival instinct. So when you say ahimsa, be careful, don't hurt others in thought, word, action. There ends the story. No self-defense. But during British time, it got redefined. That was helpful for British, I think, because they don't have to bring in weapons. So for them, it was very comfortable, convenient. This is my feeling.
How right you are, Guruji. You see, in our understanding of history, Gandhiji, with due apologies, was imported from South Africa, where he started the non-violent. Why did the British want him? आप देखिए, अंग्रेजों ने क्यों गांधी जी को वहां लाए? 1857 में गुरुजी वो हिल गए. The bloodbath that happened because of वो इतना सप्रेशन कर रहे थे, धर्म परिवर्तन कर रहे थे और इतना उन्होंने जुल्म किया कि जैसे कि बम फटाई. और 1857 में उनको हिला दिया. तभी ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी गई और ये गई. नाइटमेयर अंग्रेजों का था कि दोबारा ना हो जाए 1857. इसलिए वो गांधी जी को लाए और गांधी जी ने यहाँ अहिंसा का पाठ शुरू किया और बोला कि हम लोग फास्टिंग करेंगे. मैं केवल इतना एज ए हिस्टोरियन, मिलिट्री हिस्टोरियन बताना चाहता हूं कि इन्होंने अंग्रेजों 11 man-made famines भारतवर्ष में 60 to 80 million Indians इसमें पेरिश हो. 60 से 80 मिलियन भारतीय पेरिश हो. क्यों? आदेश दिया कि साहब यहाँ अफीम हो गए, अनाज नहीं हो गए, हमको अफीम बेचनी है, ओपियम वॉर्स चाहिए, हमको इंडिगो चाहिए अपने कपड़े बनने के लिए, कोई खाना नहीं. फैमिन हो गई. हमारी भारतीयों की औसतन आयु वो 27 वर्ष पे आ गई. 27 ईयर द एवरेज एज ऑफ आज 70 पे. जी ठीक है. आज हम खाना एक्सपोर्ट कर, धन धान्य से भरी ये वसुंधरा खाना एक्सपोर्ट हो रहा है और उन दिनों फैमिन. मुझे लोग कहते हैं कि अंग्रेज गए क्योंकि गांधी जी ने उपवास किया. वहां कीजिए, जिन अंग्रेजों ने 60 से 80 मिलियन भारतीय मरवा दी बिकॉज ऑफ आर्टिफिशियली क्रिएटेड फैमिन, क्या वो एक आदमी के अन्नप्राशन ना करने से चले जाए? उनका मकसद था कि भारत को शांत रखा जाए और मैं समझता हूं कि उन्होंने गांधी जी का इस्तेमाल किया. गांधी जी वो सिंसियर, वेरी सिंसियर. लेकिन जब उनका इस्तेमाल किया गया तब सुभाष चंद्र बोस ने आके बोला, गांधी जी आपको शस्त्र उठाने पड़े. देखिए, अहिंसा ठीक है, ब्रह्म का बोध ठीक है, लेकिन इसमें जब शत्रु बोध आ रहा है तो फिर कोई मेरे घर में घुस गए, चोर, लुटेरे, डाकू, गुंडे, और वो मेरी बेटी या बहन या माँ की तरफ आगे उठाने, उस वक्त अहिंसा कहना कहां से जाए? ये वही बात हुई ना हाथी की और महावत की जी, कि ये साहब ये ब्रह्म है, ये ब्रह्म नहीं है. इसमें जहां ब्रह्म ही ये आता है. और मेरा अनुभव ये था, मैं आपका मार्गदर्शन चाहूंगा कि देखिए, when duality reaches an extreme, then you are heading for merger with yourself. Subject, object, object, subject. ये द्वैतवाद जी. हम आग ले जा रहे हैं लोगों को, समझ संसार को, भाई अपने अंदर जाओ जी. और ब्रह्म वहां है. प्रज्ञानम ब्रह्म जी. Consciousness is Brahma. This consciousness is universe. जी. It is the same everywhere. I am a Brahma. जी. ये ब्रह्म मेरे में भी है और यही ब्रह्म सब जगह है जी. लेकिन ये बोध, ये रियलाइजेशन जब असली में आएगी, उसके पहले द्वैत भाव की एक्सट्रीमिटी है, मैं और मेरा शत्रु।
जी।
देखिए, आप और मैं बैठे हैं, सद्भाव से बैठे हैं, हम आपके चरण कमलों में बैठकर क्या प्राप्त कर रहे हैं। दूसरा है, मैं लड़ाई के मैदान में हूं, वो
सिचुएशन अलग है।
वो पंजाबी मुसलमान वो बेरट लेके मुझे मारने आ रहा है। अब या तो मैं बोलो अहिंसा के लिए मर जाओ, या मैं शस्त्र उठाऊं। तो मेरा ख्याल शास्त्र के अनुसार है कि ऐसे समय में शस्त्र उठाना अनिवार्य।
So, just to add on to what General G.D. Bakshi has said, Mohanji, I've heard you speak on non-violence throughout, and you said that Mohanji is non-violent in the mind, in actions. But here it seems that the modern era is turning towards more aggression. Is it the only way to be aggressive and buy peace for oneself?
When I gave the speech, I said, I guarantee the people who follow me will never be aggressive, never be violent. This is my responsibility. What I said is, every spiritual leader, every religious head takes this vow. Our people will not go and hurt anybody. There will be peace. So this is the point I was telling earlier. But the question is, violence is not the end. And it doesn't leave people happy. Many times violence leaves wounds which will be restarted in another generation. Because the emotion also is carried forward. Emotion is handed over. See, inheritance is also emotions sometimes. And then the next generation, Europe has seen all this. First World War, Second World War, different wars. Now it is a relative peace. But the effect of these wounds will probably be reopened at another time. Why I said ahimsa is because it leaves regret and guilt, which is opposite to liberation. So I am trying to take people to the level where you are liberated while existence. While living, you should be liberated. In the sense, outside world is outside world, inside world is inside world. You have to see the difference here. You cannot change the outside world. This is also applicable to countries. Inside the country and outside the country are completely different. You cannot make changes in the outside other countries, because that's belonging to somebody else. That's run by somebody else. But inside the country, if you don't make changes, you lose. Same inside us. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, all these things are sitting inside us. So we have to sort them out. Nobody else can come and sort it out. But if we clean up all these things one by one and don't add more through violence and thoughts, words, action, automatically there will be emptiness. Once you are empty, but again, as I said, that doesn't mean that if somebody comes to attack you, you say, hey, look here, I'm meditating. You have to get up and defend yourself. This is important. Self-protection is important for every country, every person. But people like you, because of you, people are sleeping peacefully here. Because you defended the borders in day and night, in winter and summer and cold and hot. That is why the Bharat is Bharat today. Otherwise, it would have probably been eroded already.
एक बात तो है कि इस पॉडकास्ट में बहुत मजा आ रहा है। एक तरफ कृष्ण बैठे हैं जो कह रहे हैं कि युद्ध कर, डंके की चोट लगी है, सामने फौज खड़ी है। कृष्ण ने कहा अर्जुन से, ना प्यार जता दुश्मन से, युद्ध कर। और एक तरफ मेरे गुरु बैठे हैं जो गौतम बुद्ध की तरह शांति का संदेश दे रहे हैं। तो अच्छा फ्यूजन है ये। लेकिन जनरल बख्शी, आज की जो मॉडर्न एरा है, जो युवा पीढ़ी है, वो थोड़ा सा कंफ्यूज्ड है कि महाभारत में आपने इतना ब्लड शेड देखा और उसके बाद पाया क्या?
शांति नहीं आई थी, वहां तो लाशें जल रही थी, योगी बनी नहीं, इतनी सारी लाशें। और देखिए, कोई लड़ाई इज नॉट अ हैप्पी थिंग टू हैपन। दैट एज सोल्जर हम लोग को पहले सबसे ज्यादा क्लेश तो सिपाहियों को होता है, नेक्स्ट उनकी फैमिलीज को होता है। और फिर मेरा सिर्फ कहना ये था, गुरु जी ने बहुत अच्छा संकेत दिया। आई डोंट नो हाउ मेनी ऑफ अस हैव रियली गॉट इट ऑल। मुस्लिम इस्लाम में क्या कहते हैं? दो किस्म की जिहाद होती है, असगर जिहाद, अफजल जिहाद। द सुपीरियर जिहाद एंड द लोअर जिहाद। लोअर जिहाद इज व्हेन यू टेक अप वेपन्स एंड फाइट योर एनिमी। गुरुजी ने कहा कि असली जिहाद वो है जो आप अपने अंदर रखते हैं। काम, क्रोध, लोभ, मोह, ये शत्रु आपके अंदर बैठे। जो रियल जिहाद है वो इनके साथ, और जहां पूरी समस्त संसार इस जिहाद को अफजल जिहाद, द सुपीरियर जिहाद जी में वो लड़े तो दैट इज मच बेटर। एक और भी चीज थी कि देखिए, वो वेदों में भी कहा जाता है अभयम पित्रात अभयम अमित्रात, मैं अभय हो जाऊं, जब मैं पूर्णतः अभय होगा मेरे पे कोई हमला नहीं होगा। आई विल स्टॉप एनी अटैक फ्रॉम हैपनिंग, बिकॉज उसमें इतनी अभयता आ गई है, इतनी अभयता आ गई। देखिए, इवन अ डॉग अटैक्स फियर। अगर मेरा शत्रु सामने है, ये मेरे से डर क्यों रहा है? ये मेरे को कुछ करने वाला है, मेरे को भी डर, उसको भी डर, और दोनों लड़ जाएंगे, एक दूसरे के गले काट देंगे। तो आपने देखा पूर्णतः जो इसी महर्षि महेशों की कहा करते थे, क्योंकि आई बिलोंग टू जबलपुर, आई ग्रो अप देयर, एंड उनके सरमन हम सुनते थे। गुरु जी की बिल्कुल छवि मुझसे मिलती है मुझे देख के बचपन याद आ जाता है। तो वो कहते थे कि नो एनिमी विल अराइज द डे वी आर टोटली विद आवरसेल्व्स। गुरु जी की स्थिति में इन पे कोई वार नहीं कर, ही इज एट यहां पहुंच चुके, दैट इज वेयर ही इज एक्टिंग। बट फॉर द रेस्ट ऑफ अस, लाइक गुरु जी ने कहा, for the rest of us, we have to listen both. We have to see the elephant, we have to see the Mahabharat. वो भी ब्रह्म है जो कह रहा है कि भाई हट जा, यथार्थ ये जीवन में by some rules and laws यथार्थ है। So जब ऐसे नेगेटिविटी बढ़ती है, the dark side of the force बढ़ता है। अब डार्क साइड ऑफ द फोर्स जब बढ़ रहा है, जो कि इस ईरा में हो रहा, प्लैनेटरी वाइज जो महाभारत के सितारे थे वो आपको दिख रहे हैं आज, महाभारत के सितारे। नेगेटिविटी एज वो पापों का घड़ा फर गया, तब आपको शस्त्र उठाए।
I've seen you, I've heard you talk a lot about the Indian Armed Forces, how strong they are and what they should be doing. लेकिन एक गुरु के नजरिए से हमने बहुत कम देखा है what a spiritual guru would want to say in this situation. I mean, here is Mohanji, who is spreading the message of harmony across the globe. He emphasizes on Annadan. He emphasizes on bringing harmony in the society. He says people should be nice to each other, spread love. He's built elderly homes. He is looking after people, nurturing them. पशु पक्षी वो प्यार बढ़ाना, सद्भावना बढ़ाना, और पूरे विश्व में. So my question is that what are we trying to give to the young generation? I mean, एक तरफ जनरल बख्शी हैं जो कह रहे हैं कि मान सम्मान के लिए युद्ध करो, और दूसरी तरफ मोहन जी हैं हु सेइंग कि बहुत सारा प्यार बांटते रहो, हार्मनी बांटते रहो. आई मीन मोहन जी's idea is also a solution today, but how are we helping the next generation? The preparations and the actions that we are taking today is going to impact them one day.
That is kartavya, our appointed duty or niyoga. This has to be done. But what General Bakshi said just now is Krishna was accused of starting the war. Krishna said, I'm not responsible. Circumstances created it. I told them, give them 5 villages and 5 houses or 1 house. They didn't agree at that point in time. If 1 house was given to the 5 Pandavas, this war would not have happened. But ego created the war. Ghamand. Also, situation, circumstances. See, if somebody holds everything to them, others will definitely fight. And people will take sides. See, whatever we do, how do you know that the people will accept? They can accept or reject. This is up to their mindset. So we don't have control on all this. Now coming to your question, we don't give anything to anybody. We live it and they see it. How did we pick up from in our childhood? By looking at our parents, not because of their teachings. What they taught is later understood, but how they behaved was first caught. The world is like that. They watch you. Are you a hypocrite? That's visible. Many places. We talk something, do something else. They understand. World has eyes to see. So we don't have to teach anything to anybody. We live it. If you believe in something, live it. Show it to the world as with your life. Teachings don't have much value. So many great masters have taught so many things in the world. Then why is the world like this? Great masters have walked our earth over time. But look at the number of wars happened. When the Second World War happened in the Washington Memorial, it's written, never in the history there should be such a thing. After that, there was Stalin, there was Pol Pot, there was many places, ethnic cleansing, even ISIS. It all happened. So that means we have never learned. People will sprout and they will come and they do their thing. So a blanket level of awareness, I'm not even expecting. That's not going to happen. But people will wake up. People will see. There is an alternative than the anger, hatred, jealousy kind of things which pulls you down, regrets and guilt which binds you. From there is an escape. There is something else. This people will realize, some people will realize, but many people who are, like for example, peace committees, peace conferences, peace initiatives. Do you think anybody believes in it? Nobody in the world believes in it, because you look at how many weapons are manufactured and how much of food is manufactured. Much more than food, weapons are manufactured. And weapons are not for peaceful purposes. It is to kill people. So it's needed to some extent to preserve and protect. But food is needed. Why there is no natural food supply in the world? People stand in queue, sometimes starving. If a child is starving and crying for food, the society has failed. We have failed. There is something wrong with us. If a child is raped or killed, a woman is kidnapped, like Bakshi just said, if you cannot protect your women and children, male's primary responsibility is to provide and protect. A woman's responsibility is to nurture. That is why motherhood is very precious. You know, motherhood is one of the best or the most respectable position. I always say womanhood can never be substituted. Motherhood, because they bring the next generation. You cannot teach these things to people. They should realize. And who are they bringing forth? The next rulers of the world. Look at the relevance of mothers, women. But women are objectified. Animals are objectified. Trafficking and all kinds of nonsenses. Why this is happening? Degeneracy of consciousness. In the degeneracy of consciousness, how do you make people meditate? All you can do is to lead by example. You live your life and people like it, they follow. They don't like it, they don't follow. You can never force anything and you don't have to prove anything in this world. Live your life. See, I believe in the path of Krishna. What I say. And simple thing. That is why I said, when I began, be practical. Don't theorize. Jo karna hai, wo karo. If you don't want to do, there is nothing to do, keep quiet. But where you have to speak, you speak. When everybody is shouting, noisy, sing, silence wins. Where everybody is shouting, only silence wins. Likewise, when a good ruler is the most neutral person. Neutrality is his strength. Like sun, like the air, like oxygen, like the nature, like the wind, like the elements. Completely neutral, like your soul. Totally neutral. Then only you can actually keep things alive. A partial ruler will only cater to their people. Others are affected. That's not a good ruler. A good ruler is somebody who is completely neutral. Like the sun. Sun gives the same light to Pakistan and India. Never discriminates. You know, that's a visible God. That's why Brahma Surupaya Suryaya, Vishnu Surupaya Suryaya. Because Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva you see in sun. No, what I mean to say is that we feel that we have to teach a lot. I feel that we have to live it a lot. Because by teaching, you can never guarantee a clear understanding or a clear transformation. But by living, that becomes confirmation. If I don't live my teaching, what is my value? If I tell that please practice ahimsa, don't disturb anybody, don't kill anybody, but then I am very violent, how does it suit? That is the hypocrisy we see in the world actually. People talk but don't perform, don't practice. And people have eyes to see. They're not idiots in the world. They have eyes to see. They see business, they see the communion, the hypocrisy, and then they detach and distance. Nobody can blame them. You know? So like Krishna said, I'm not responsible. Circumstances are like that. Circumstances creates wars. You do what you have to do. Be practical. I always tell people, be practical before being spiritual. Because spirituality anyway is your personal matter, connection with yourself. But because you are spiritual, you are not practical, you cannot live in this world. People will run over you. They will use you as a doormat. If you don't stand up, everybody will sit on you. You have to stand up.
As a civilian, I'm trying to ask two great personalities, my Guru Mohanji and General G.D. Bakshi ji. मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि क्योंकि ये पॉडकास्ट है और मेरे गुरु ने एक मान्यता मुझे दी है अपने दिल की बात खुल के करने की, मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि हमारी कंट्री में डिसिप्लिन की बहुत कमी है। और फिर ये बातें होती हैं कि मैं अपने देश को बेहतर कैसे बनाऊं। और अब दो दिग्गजों से ये सवाल पूछता हूं कि हाउ कैन वी एंड व्हाट कैन वी डू टू मेक इंडिया बेटर कंट्री।
बिफोर इसके पहले कि मैं इस पे आऊं, गुरु जी के शब्द बाण जैसे जाते और यहाँ छूते। बहुत आभार गुरुदेव। अभी गुरुदेव बात कर रहे थे किस चीज की? श्री कृष्ण और महाभारत। दो चीजें मेरे मन में जहन कर गई, बहुत गहरे गए। एक तो उन्होंने सबको याद दिलाया कि श्री कृष्ण वॉर इज अ लास्ट रिजॉर्ट ऑप्शन। वो गए थे जब युद्ध तक सब लोग तैयार थे युद्ध के लिए, वो गए दुर्योधन के पास, ठीक है, और बोला ठीक है दुर्योधन 5 गांव दे दे। उसने बोला 1 गांव नहीं दूंगा। श्री कृष्ण ने क्या बात कर, 5 1 गांव नहीं दूंगा। उन्होंने कहा तू 5 भी छोड़ दे, तू 1 दे दे। बोला जितनी सुई की नोक पे स्थान है उतना भी नहीं दूंगा। तो फिर उन्होंने ऐसे करके खड़े हो गए, फिर युद्ध होगा और सारा पाप तेरे सर। ये वॉर इज अ लास्ट रिजॉर्ट। वॉर इज जस्ट ओनली इफ इट इज द लास्ट रिजॉर्ट। ये गुरु जी ने इसकी तरफ इंडिकेट किया था, नंबर 1। नंबर 2, गुरु जी ने बताया कि भाई जब दोनों फौजें मैदान में आ गई तो अर्जुन ने बोला कि महाराज जरा दिखाइए कौन लड़ने आया है। तो वो बीच में ले गए और जब उसने देखा अपना गुरु, अपने दादा, अपना अंकल, कजन, ये सारे रिलेटिव, तो वैराग्य आया, उठा की कांटी पटक दी और बोला क्या इनको मार के क्या मैं राजी भोगूंगा? लानत है मुझ पे, मैं नहीं मार सकता, मैं नहीं मारूंगा। तो श्री कृष्ण ने क्या बोला? तू मारने वाला कौन होता है? बोला यू टू किल, तू तो निमित्त मात्र है। बहुत आपने बिल्कुल सोल्जर्स के लिए गीता बहुत ही अनिवार्य है और गीता में लिखा है निमित्त मात्र। You just do your duty. As a soldier, it is my duty to defend. It is my duty to fight. And till the last breath, I will carry out that duty. Because of me, so many people, as Guruji said, sleep in peace. And I can't let them down.
Correct.
I can't afford to let them down. I have to pick up. It is my duty to fight. If I don't fight, ठोकेंगे लोग मेरे नाम पे एज अ सोल्जर। हमारे लड़के कहा करते थे साहब, अगर हम लड़ाई में भय दिखा दें, शर्म दिखा दें, तो हमारी तो गांव की औरतें आपको कुएं से पानी नहीं पीने देगी। दिस इज द ट्रेडिशन। ये लड़ाई छोड़ के मैदान छोड़ के आया है। यू कांट, यू हैव टू डू योर ड्यूटी, बट डू इट विद, दिस इज व्हाट आई हैव डन। And Guruji also pointed out to that. What I have done is you do your duty selfless. Here, I remember Gurudev, I was in Kari. So I was, our headquarters had been deliberately sited in a shadow area so that the enemy shells would go over. One fine day, I got up early in the morning and I found the villagers of that Kasar village coming down their heads, streaming with blood. The enemy had opened fire on that village. And all my porter ponies, who used to take every drop of water up from 7,000 to 14,000-15,000, they were all on the run. So I got up and said, where the hell are you guys going? आप मर जाएंगे, आप भिखारी बनेंगे, आप नहीं मरना चाहते. And they were running. So I said, I better stop this flight exodus from the village. नहीं तो मेरे लड़कों को पानी नहीं पहुंचेगा, एमिनेशन नहीं पहुंचेगा, खाना नहीं पहुंचेगा. The headquarters is here. We have to send to the post 40 15, 16,000 feet. So I quickly called up my jeep and I rushed up. So every time I used to go up, you see, very proudly on my jeep, they used to put the regimental flag, which is saffron, red, saffron. It can be picked up from mines. So, now I saw that. I had a feeling कि यार आज रहते ऐसे नहीं सोचने कि ये साफ डर गए तो यार चलो. So we reached on top. The moment I reached on top, गुरुदेव मैं आपको बताना चाहता हूँ कि वो there was a 5108 enemy peak where their observation post officer was watching with binoculars.
Yeah.
He saw my jeep come with that regimental flag. He passed back. उनका commanding officer आया हुआ है जहाँ where we are chilling. So the orders they got from they were, don't make sure he doesn't go back alive. मार डालो इसको, खत्म करो. Commanding officer आया है, don't let's go back on his two bloody feet.
Yeah.
Gurudev, every bloody gun in that area opened up on that flat piece of land. We looked there. There was a, sentry post made of thick wood. There were one bloody blast and we looked, there was no sentry post. The fragments were all over. There were yaks spinning around there. And one bloody bomb fell in the center, 8 yaks dead. And the other yaks, instead of running away, तो poor things they came और जैसे आंखों से आंसू गिरते हैं ना वैसे उचारी मुंह कर और हमारे जवान सब गऊ है मर जाए कि मैं इस वक्त तो तुम मर जाओ you better take cover ये वो but then I tried to go village was at fire and we tried to put out the fire. There was one lady sitting with her daughter-in-law. She was in the family way. She got hit by a shell fragment. She aborted. And in front of us, the mother and daughter, they just put their hands on their ear. They started screaming. Now, we didn't know what the hell. I had taken the doctor with me. कहाँ हाथ लगाए, कहाँ नहीं लगाए, किधर पट्टी करे, क्या करे. तो अम्मा, don't worry, पानी पियो, हम भेजते हैं डॉक्टर को करके. That's all that I could do. In the meantime, my commander got to know. They heard the shelling. So he wanted to ask me what the hell is happening. They told him, sir, the CO has gone up. He said, is he mad? He said, get him, sir, the lines are blasted. No, telephone line. They said, put him on the radio. So he got me the, where the hell are you? I said, sir, I'm Kapsar. What is happening? Like, they're shelling. What are you doing there? You get out. Damn it, you are the CO. You get killed. You created trouble for me at the unit. I said, sir, ये गांव वाले भाग रहे हैं, मेरे को पानी कौन देगा, मेरे लड़कों को एमिनिशन कौन भेजेगा, मैं दूसरे गांव से ला दूंगा. You get the hell out of here. That's an order. So that was it. I looked around. I said, you talking sense? So my driver there take cover in one of this thing and my escort. So I said, okay, come and get the jeep out. So when my driver came out, they realized that I was trying to get out. So every single gun that they want, all that started happening. Now, the driver brought out the jeep. I found his hands were trembling. It was a very dicey patch on which to go. So I asked him, Beta, are you okay? Otherwise, we tumble down. We'll stop in the Shingo River, 8,000 feet below. He said, no, sir, I said, that step on the gas, man, get the hell out. So he started. And every gun that could possibly fire, it was this thing. I still remember this, that as we were going, मेरे मन में ख्याल आया, हे साईं मेरे नाथ, मेरी डोरी तेरे हाथ. I am like a puppet on a string. You take me through this. I don't know, right, down, left, down. You see, the difference between life and death, is what? Your head is here, the shell fragment, this thick of bloody copper and lead goes past. Your head is here, you're gone.
Finished.
Your whole face will blow. So, in the midst of battle, I'm not now talking from the books. I'm talking from life.
Reality.
You see, you have to let go of your narrow ego, which guides my action on an everyday basis. And you have to go to a deeper level, where you are guided. Yeah. You receive guidance. You become a nimitta. I don't kill. I just do my duty.
Yes.
My duty is to fire, I'll fire. My duty is to fight with this guy, bayonet him and turn him. He's trying to bayonet me, fire. But when you act like that, Gurudev was mentioning two lovely points. You see, guilt and fear. The central message of the Gita is that these are the two negative emotions in combat. They are disorganized. A man who has fear, I have seen he can't let he get his, there is a stoppage in the rifle. He can't get it out, though he's done it hundreds of times, millions of times. You see, look, his hands are trembling, fear, disorganized. Guilt, disorganized. So the two emotions, negative, are fear and guilt, and they attach to the ego, to this body, to I, me, when I identify with this body. You see, so the thing to do is, and I feel, and this is the lesson that you were talking of, do your duty, leave the rest to the Lord on top. In times of stress, and even otherwise, try and listen within and be guided by that voice. Be guided.
That's what Krishna said. Be practical, be realistic. Save yourself. If you die, then everything is gone. So it's an instinct and it's a requirement to stay alive. And we have to do what we have to do. Otherwise, we can't do much. Their ego has no value. In this kind of situation, survival has value. If you are not surviving, you cannot do further.
At the same time, I want to ask you, how can we counsel the youth? Because the youth across the world are living in a confused state. There's violence happening everywhere. There is confusion, fear, insecurity. We need a noble soul like you to guide them.
Well, coming back to where Bakshi Sahib said, the country that you live in is not your right. It's your responsibility. There's a big difference here. Everybody is being trained to talk about rights. That's what we see in the world. And rights and all the elected members are focusing on giving rights to people or providing. And that's the benchmark or the guideline. But what about responsibility? See, in many countries, there is a compulsory military training or military participation. Compulsion. But that's okay. 1.4 billion or half of that cannot be military, probably. But discipline is important in every country because this is required for our growth. One is our borders should be tight. Other people should not enter and naturalize here. First, you secure the people inside. Now, I'm not government or I don't have people in government to talk, but I'm thinking aloud, my opinion. One is watertight borders, or at least somewhat watertight borders. Second thing is that cultivate responsibility. Our education system should talk about responsibility. The destruction of public stuff cannot be looked at as something acceptable. See, many things are not ethical, but are acceptable. We should never. Ethics should be very clear. Ethics is not about your personal life. It's about how you conduct in the world. In that mode, everybody is a soldier. You should be proud of your country. Because at the end of the day, you're coming back to your country wherever you go. You're respected because of your country in all places. Your stability is your country. Now, of course, people like you are protecting us from the attacks of outside, and this is remarkable. But what about the people inside? What about the gratitude part? This was a culture of respect, which we always had. That is why all the rivers have names, states of idols or identity, or they are as deities. They are all deities. Mountains have name and they have deityship, like a deity. We have all the plants and trees and everything has a soul, and it's been given an identity. Nakshatra 1 means 27 stars and 27 trees. All the stars have a corresponding animal and a bird and a rishi. So that those who are born in that star are protecting or supporting that tree and that bird and that animal and that rishi. You look at the collaboration. It's a collective effort. Nobody, no one person, no elected bodies, no military can actually protect anything if internally we don't develop respect, responsibility. If we don't have responsibility, we only talk about rights. We are always separated. I'm not talking about only Bharat. Any country, you are holding a passport of the country, you are responsible for the country. You should be ethical, irrespective of religious inclinations. That's not important. That's your personal matter. You follow whatever religion you like, which suits you. But respect other religions. And no way in the name of religion you can kill somebody. This is definitely unethical. And also ignorance. These things many things of existence has to be regulated by law, because individually people cannot regulate. It has to have a law where if somebody deliberately commits a crime based on their belief, because they don't have compatibility with other, they have to be quarantined. There's no other way. You have to make the society clean and healthy for everybody to coexist. Those who exist together should have respect between each other. So what I mean to say is that there should be some kind of a system where this is even applicable to government officials or people who are supported by the government. There are no reward recognition system as far as I understand. So work becomes mechanical. If I have time, I will do something for you. If I don't like, I'm not in the mood today, I'm not signing any files. That's not the thing. Responsibility there. You have to clean up your table every day before you leave, so that everything should have an ethics, responsibility. We have the Purushartha as the basis. The moksha aspect is a very important aspect, which is only in India. You take the philosophy of any world, hardly anywhere there is moksha aspect. Dharma, Artha, Kama is there, but moksha is well defined here, well understood here. So over Dharma or over Artha or Kama, we have put moksha on top. So that good money, good Dharma, righteousness, money or wealth or assets, and also inspiration and motivation in a good way. Not by stealing, cheating or conquering. So we need to bring back the essence of Bharat here, which I think we can. If all the spiritual heads and religious leaders come together and tell their people, look here, this is Bharat. This is our base. This is our foundation. This is where we are stable. And you should take care of it. It's your responsibility also. And because I'm angry, I cannot destroy things around me, which is useful for many people. These kind of things should be very well told to people. And if you guide the youth to responsibility, they will become powerful citizens. I am responsible for my country doesn't mean that I am irresponsible in another country. The culture of responsibility, culture of respect will make you great citizens. It's easy to mislead because they have not connected to themselves. Those who are connected to themselves and they have gained reasonable stability can never be misled. See, how do people cheat people? See, we always listen about, they cheated me. Either greed, misunderstanding, fear, these kind of things definitely reduces your stability or your understanding, and then anybody can topple you. But a person who's stable, nobody can change. Nobody can tilt them. So the thing is, like, if you go with insecurity, you can be cheated. Insecurity is a thing which is always it affects self-sufficiency. But you are self-sufficient for your karmic journey. You don't need anybody's help. But then collaboration is possible. Everybody can support each other. Like we do in our system and our culture, we all support each other because it expands us. Love expands. Anger, fear, hatred, they contract us. They make us reduced. So coming back to this point, I think Bharat internally should be much more equipped. Patriotism on one side. I'm not talking about any religion here. Everybody who's holding a passport of Bharat must be patriotic, because this is the country, this is the air we breathe, this is the country we live in, and this is the country which has given you your parents and your siblings. There's no compromise here. One way or the other, we have to make this a mandatory thing. Nobody can. See, as I said, we can only extinguish or remove the internal enemies. Like it's like a human being, kama, krodha, lobha, or anger, hatred, jealousy, revenge. All these things are inside. Who can change it? Only you can change it. Others cannot do anything. Same with the country. Country is like a body. Internally, if a lot of people are against the country, that's a fair game for the other countries to enter. You see, this is exactly what we should tackle and tap. And we have the systems for it. Now electronic and all that. I think that this is a very important thing. At any cost, India should have a larger amount of patriotism. Everybody should be responsible. And also, it should be visible. Not like internally. If something is unethical, they should say, this is not okay. Nahi hoga. Either. People should talk. I'm not saying violently, but we should say. And in the name of politics, name of appeasement, responsibility should never be compromised. This every voter should decide. If a neta or somebody is talking bad about our country, you should reject them. You should not help. Because nobody should talk against our country. If there is a problem, solve the problem. Get involved, solve the problem. Everybody decides on solving a problem. There's no problem. There are no problems in the world. There are only situations. How you respond to the situations. You can respond it meaningfully or you can respond it emotionally. If you respond to a problem emotionally, it will go exaggerated. Definitely it will go out of your hand. But if it's okay, this is happening now. What can we do alone and what can all of us do together? This is the situation. And there will be a solution. Every lock has a key. It will happen. But that's what I'm saying. Internally, people should be intelligent and reject things which are against the country. That will strengthen the hands of the soldiers and the governments. And the elected members will be behaving properly, understanding things and discussing things. So overall, you'll have a better energy in the country. When I say people, it's this world, the country doesn't only belong to human beings. There are animals, birds, ecology, everything. And everything should be given equal respect. Forests should have, if there are places like mountains and forests, should have its own rights. And nobody can encroach into it. We should not cut a tree just for the sake of it. If you cut, you should plant more. Something like that. That is enriching we are planting in many countries, trees. We are enriching forests. For what? For the sake of birds. I always tell you can never sell these foods. That's the agreement in every country, in different countries. This is for the birds, animals, for anybody want to eat free, they can, but don't sell it. We can enrich the forest with fruit saplings. Everybody can do it. And usually who does that? The local people there. What I mean to say is that, first of all, Bharat is not only for human beings. Bharat is for everybody. Everybody are equally responsible and equal rights. Secondly, nobody owns it. Nobody owns it. We don't own it. We are tourists here. For 30,000 days, 35,000 days, we have come here, we live here and we go. We are out. Another generation. If you take the next 100 years, even the child born today will not be here. It will be a totally new generation. So this culture should be transferred. This is a serious culture of acceptance. Anybody who came here were treated like Aditi Devo Bhava. Nobody was rejected. They had their full existence, peace, protection. This is Bharat. And this can never be compromised. And others should they should also follow through. Means it's not be taught by the government. From the parents to children, that saga should continue. Then we will have a much greater Bharat. Not just world leader, a legacy. I'm not talking about supremacy. As a message to the world.
Actually, this podcast is heading towards more awareness, where my spiritual guru tells us what he's actually done for every existing being in the world. And that's what real Bharat is all about. तो दो दिग्गज मेरे साथ हैं और इसी बात को आगे बढ़ाते हुए जनरल जीडी बख्शी.
थैंक यू. वैल्यूज की बात हो गई. सेना में हम 4 बड़ी वैल्यूज पे फोकस करते हैं. पहला है, द फर्स्ट वैल्यू इज माय कंट्री. अगर आप चेटवुड हॉल इंडियन मिलिट्री एकेडमी में जाएं तो वहां गोल्डन लेटर्स में लिखा है, योर कंट्री कम्स फर्स्ट ऑलवेज एंड एवरी टाइम. ठीक है. द मेन, आई एम जस्ट समिंग इट अप, द मेन यू कमांड कम नेक्स्ट. You know, safety, honor, and welfare of your country comes first, always and every time. The honor and welfare, safety nahi bol, because you may have to lead them to their death and your death. You see, so the honor and welfare of the men you command comes next. Your own ease, comfort, and safety come last, always and every time. ठीक है. मेरा देश सर्वोपरि. उसके बाद जो मेरा फर्ज है, मेरे जवान जिनकी जिम्मेवारी मुझे दी गई, मुझे खाना मिले ना मिले, उनको खाना मिला. Did they get the weapons they need to fight? Did they get the ammunition? मेरी जिम्मेवारी. मेरा all ease, comfort and safety का last. हमेशा. ये अगर हम this pinnacle of values जो कि देश को सर्वोपरि मानता है, आज इस देश में उसकी निहायत जरूरत. देखिए, ये कोई नई चीज मैं नहीं कह रहा. अथर्ववेद में कितने श्लोक हैं जो मातृभूमि, राष्ट्र के ऊपर, कि लुक, अगर आपके पास कोई चीज है विच प्लेसेस द कंट्री अबव यू. आजकल कल्चर क्या है? आई, मी, माई सेल्फ. मुझे कार चाहिए, मोटर चाहिए, बंगला चाहिए, ट्रॉफी वाइफ चाहिए, ये चाहिए. कोई अंत नहीं है. आई, मी, माई सेल्फ. मैं इसी गुरु जी बहुत सही कह रहे थे. सेल्फ असर्टिव इमोशंस एंड सेल्फ ट्रांसेंडिंग इमोशंस, दीज आर टू डिफरेंट क्लासेस ऑफ इमोशन. व्हाट आर द सेल्फ असर्टिव इमोशन? फियर. मैं बच जाऊं, मैं भाग जाऊं, मैं वो आ रहा है राक्षस, तो पहले वहां से दौड़ो. ठीक है, चाहे वाइफ और बच्चे वो आ रहे हैं, ये नहीं हो सकता. ठीक है ना. सो दिस इज सेल्फ असर्टिव इमोशन. ग्रीड, gluttony, lust, ये सब self assertive emotions है. They assert the body, they assert the self. You know, असुरों को, दानवों को जब बोला गया, क्या बोला? The body, glorify the body. So these are self assertive. What are the self transcending class of emotions? Courage, awe, wonder. Look at the sky, my God, you get that goosebumps when you see all the stars, galaxy. So awe, wonder, compassion, sacrifice, you know, bravery, courage. These are self-transcending. Vikram Batra, I give you a very practical example. Paramveer Chakra, मेरी regiment, जी, हमारी regiment के, ये man, he led the assault. He had fever. You know, 2 companies were set up. He said, वो कमल डाल के डेढ़ गया. तो suddenly both the companies got stuck. तो ये बेचारा ठहरा रहा था. He heard the whole radio transmission. तो he said, सर मैं जाता हूँ. सर तू तो बीमार है, चुपचाप है. बोले नहीं सर, आपके पास और कोई नहीं है. You have only me. And you have to send me to before you order. मैं जा रहा हूँ. He said, you don't feel any guilt that you said me. मैं जा रहा हूँ. I'm all right. And he led the charge. He was badly wounded. He captured that thing. The enemy counter-attacked. You see, and suddenly, you know, they started shelling. So they all took cover behind the stones, right? So one of the boys who was wounded was lying out there and crying, "Bachao, mere ko bachao, koi bachao." You see, so the JCO, the old man, he got up. His sir मैं इसको घसीट के लाता हूँ. You know what this man tells him? He puts a hand on his shoulder and says, "तू बाल बच्चेदार है, तेरे घर बेटे हैं, मेरा आगे पीछे मेरा कोई नहीं. I'm not married. I'll get it." This man was wounded. He had bullet wounds all over his body. In that wounded state, he went out in the shelling, dragged that boy, put him behind the stone. And as he was trying to get behind the stone, an enemy sniper had seen him. He took a fix on his chest and he fell dead. Sacrificial altruism.
Correct.
अपने आप को सैक्रिफाइस कर दी. ये हमने बैटलफील्ड में बहुत देखा. Battlefield is a place of fear, terror, you know, and yet We have seen time and again people rise above themselves and sacrifice themselves for their friends, for their others, for their country. Sacrificial altruism. सबसे बड़ा दान अपना जीवन दान दे किसी और के लिए. इससे बड़ी कोई चीज नहीं होती. और किस लिए कर रहा है? A person who has a value system which is more than I, me, myself.
Correct.
अगर मैं अपनी वैल्यू सिस्टम फिक्स करूं at a higher pitch, you don't have to be in the army to do this. You know, you are a contractor. आपको कॉन्ट्रैक्ट दिया गवर्नमेंट ने, सड़क बनाओ, और आप बोलते साहब मैं पैसा बनाऊं, रत्ती खटिया माल लगाओ, 6 महीने के अंदर वहां पे 1000 पॉट हाउस दो जिसमें कोई स्कूटर वाला गिर के मारे. ठीक है, that is one way of life because you have no value system. And the other is, how can I do it? How can I do it? It's for my country, it's for my people. They will use it, man. To hell with if I don't get 5 bloody pennies more or less. But I am doing it for a greater good, doing it for my country. When you have a value system pegged on the country, Dharma Ved कहता है, you can't go wrong.
Absolutely.
You have a value system. The highest value in the armed forces is your country. पलटन में कहा करते थे, when you join the army, जब आप आर्मी पलटन के गेट के अंदर आते हो, अपनी जात पात धर्म शर्म सब जरा गेट के बाहर रखते.
बाहर.
ठीक है, यहाँ तुम्हारा धर्म तुम्हारा देश. यू वी आर ऑल इंडियंस. हम सब भारतीय है. पीरियड. हिंदू मुस्लिम सिख ईसाई अपर कास्ट लोअर कास्ट ओबीसी दिस कास्ट दैट कास्ट वो बाहर रखो गेट के बाहर. इफ आई हेयर यू स्पीकिंग ऑफ योर ऑल इंडियंस फर्स्ट and everything else later. You know, and this value system has to percolate from the military to the civil society. And you see, the good thing is, very good thing that happened. You see, when wars happen, lot of deaths take place and you feel sad. Mostly we die, right? But the good thing that happened with Operation Sindoor was what? The Muslims of J&K said, Guruji, they said, for the first time there was a हड़ताल against the terrorists. कि आप टूरिस्ट मार के हमारे पेट पे लात मार. You know, why did they ask the religion before they killed people in Pahalgam? Because they thought, because of this, there would be riots in India. The people would get very angry against the Muslims that start slaughtering them, against the Kashmiris that start slaughtering them, which would serve their purpose. But what happened in India? The Muslims, the imams, you know, said from the mosques, we will curse Pakistan because we have understood they have no concern for us. वो हमको मरवाना चाहता है. By instigating this communal massacre in Pahalgam, he wants us dead. And that sort of opened their eyes. They are not our well-wishers, these Pakistanis. They want us to get us killed. And Owaisi, he was selected, he spoke against this nonsense. And he was selected to, go around the world justifying our case and our cause and why we had to do it, what we had to do. So that unity that came together in times of crisis, that is why actually you need crisis once in a while. One, when you are facing death, when is the time you think of the Lord? When you are deep in shit, you are in trouble. People dying left, right, and center. Then we all pray. There are no atheists except for souls. लड़ाई की ट्रेंचों में कोई नास्तिक नहीं है साहब. कोई नास्तिक नहीं है. वो सब के सब भगवान को याद करते हैं. जो भगवान हो, एकम सत विमरा बहुदत्ति. वो सत्य एक है. आप पानी को साफ, ये पानी है. आप इसको जल बोले, वाटर बोले, तिब्बती में छू बोला जाता है. हमारे तमिल भाई तन्नी बोलते हैं. क्या ये प्यास नहीं बुझाती?
Well, we are all working for the same thing. I mean, but there's a big difference here. See, the thing is, there are various types of people. And unless there is a system and a culture implemented from the school level, this patriotism will not happen. Patriotism does not mean votes. It's a feeling that I belong here. And like we feel for our mother and father. Similar feeling. This has to be cultivated. our whole system is to take advantage of the situation. That won't work. But that will not give patriotism. Why we need patriotism? Number one, unity. Number two, peace. And everybody gets the fruits of the benefit, the fruits of the efforts. So this culture has to be cultivated. See, I have followers in different countries, but I don't look at the religion. They can follow whatever religion they like. I'm not preaching religion. I'm not converting anybody. I don't want to convert anybody. I never told anybody that I am your guru. They feel like it, they follow me. And I'm not saying that by connecting to me, you will change. If you want to change, you will change anyway, connecting with yourself. I teach people to be themselves. Be you, self-connection. So there is no conflict here. That is why people connect to me probably in the world. And people, as I said in the beginning, people have eyes to see. They will see. And also, if you are trying to take advantage, everything will be compromised. Manipulation compromises things. And taking advantage compromises. And partiality, nepotism, all these things compromises our conscience. What we need inside is what is the most essential thing. That's the most essential thing, which is conscience. You have a healthy conscience, you have a healthy life. We are busy strengthening our body, sometimes busy strengthening our mind, but at the same time, if you are busy strengthening your conscience, you will only perform dharmic things. You will never perform, like Bakshi Sahib said earlier, about the roads, which the contractor, you might have to give bribe to many people to get the contract. The compromise is visible on the roads, which will never happen because he will think about his people and others' people. If these potholes kill somebody, who's to be blamed? Who's responsible? The blame comes to him and his lineage. If somebody dies because of you, the blame the sin, the karmic sin or karmic effect comes to you and your family. They will never do it. This is exactly the point I'm saying. We need to have a different viewpoint here, or we should look at things differently. We should look at Bharat as like you said, in military, this should be everywhere. Everybody should teach the same thing, that Bharat is important. And we are all children of Bharat. And that's any country you go, we should behave with. They should feel that these are Bharatiya. And look at them, how they're doing. This happens. See, people, if they accept me in the world, I am coming from here and I have something to do and something to say and how I live. If I'm going there for faida or getting something, they will treat me accordingly. See, we have had a culture of acceptance that gets reciprocated. When we love comes back. World is like a mirror. How you are, that gets reflected. And what you're projecting, that's reciprocated. So I am not going for some advantage from anybody. That's reflected. So when you don't need anything, you're very powerful. When you need things from people, then you're vulnerable. So the point I'm saying is, like, whatever the military is using as a principle to stay together and do the right thing, a part of it should come into the society, in the government offices, police systems, everywhere. And also, the communication should be more disciplined. Not like it's my right to be the boss and I behave in this way. Starting from elected members to all the way down, people should be behaving with humility. Treat people with respect, whether they are priests in the temples or government officials or police force, all these people. That culture of respect will change everything in the country. Also, we see the dirty roads and dirty roadsides dumped with waste, etc. People will, when they are responsible, they will never do it. You don't need a system to clean it. They will clean it themselves. We see that in foreign countries, right? The recyclable on one side, the non-recyclable on the other, and the government. But there are smaller countries. There are much smaller countries, easy to manage. Here, 1.4 billion people. The system should be much more, and also it should be starting from home. It should start from home. respecting motherhood. So starting from mothers to children, what they teach, not to go and kill somebody or conquer somebody for an imaginary god or some activity because of some priest, you become angry. That shouldn't be. These are things which should be considered as unethical. By religious heads, not by the police or the elected body. Religious heads should take responsibility. My people will not be angry and do bad things in the society. This is important. Many of the people you see begging, that's a group, that's a mafia, that's a business. And they kidnap children, they maim them. All these things are happening. So we should not sponsor that. Instead, give food. Food, nobody will object. If you're hungry, you need food. This is the best. All over the world, we are doing the same thing. I would always say, first thing, even if I go to any places of worship, etc., I ask people, are you hungry? Have you eaten? And that's because there is nothing better to give. A hungry person is feeling satiated. That is better as a worship. God will be happy. So I'm not against giving money per se. It's that give money knowingly that this person deserves it. Like child says that I need this money for paying my fees. Give it. Because you know very well that this child means if you know that this is used for a good purpose. And also, I would say never let children down because that will leave a scar in them. And if a hand of help, a ray of hope goes a long way in children. They become good citizens. Like the story of Jean Valjean. He was a convict. He never believed there can be kindness. When the bishop offered him hot soup, he was surprised. Do you know who I am? He said, you are a convict. I know. Still you offered me soup. Because he himself was not trusting him. He himself was not expecting somebody will be kind to him. So kindness is a very, very powerful thing, like love. If you decide to express kindness indiscriminately, tons of kindness comes your way. Every child should be given that. Another thing, any act of goodness should be rewarded from school. School, when they see the children are helping each other, acts of kindness, like we saw during tsunami in Japan, they didn't have, the water came in, salt water, and all the children saved water which they carried during in the morning, and they shared it. Nobody told them to share it, but they saved and shared with the people who do not have water. Culture of kindness. Why not? We could have the same. And reward people who are doing acts of kindness, goodness, and they will do more. So we have to inspire. Likewise, I always feel in the police force, 50% of the police force should be counselors. If you are able to counsel people as a profession, so many people will come out of the attitude of crime. Here we are convicting, not only Bharat, everywhere. A person does something even out of anger without thinking, immediately he is convicted. Then he becomes a culprit, a convict, all his life. Likewise in school, small petty things they do, punish them. The moment you punish them, there is a scar. So 50% of the teaching force should become counselors. Understand the child. Because in Gurukul system, we had that.
Yeah.
Arjun was taught to be an archer because he's good at it. Bhima had to be a wrestler because that is his nature. Orientation. We don't look at the orientation of children. That is why there is no satisfaction. See, if a child likes to paint, he will attain great satisfaction from painting. What you need to do? Allow him to paint and nurture that thing. That will give, when a person is happy, it's not about money. It's about happiness. Life is not about money. That's a wrong notion. Even I've met many people, billionaires, millionaires, everything, but no satisfaction, no happiness. So happiness is something connected to orientation. So you do a thing which is your orientation, you'll be very happy, effortless. This is what is to be recognized through counseling, and continuously. And I think that you shouldn't teach anything to children. If you want to teach, teach kindness, patriotism, love for the country, love for the people, respect for parents, teachers, society, everything. This you say and reward it for performing it. You see, a society will become much more cleaner because from childhood, and children will tell the parents, hey, don't throw it around or don't throw it out. Let's put it in the place. This will become, the children will become teachers to parents. We can still start all this. So 50% of the teacher become counselors, 50% of the police become counselors, then we can probably, but of course, if anti-socials must be quarantined because they cannot be in the society, that has to happen. But at the same time, because of kindness, because they have somebody to talk to, because they unburden, because they are able to forgive and forget, they will become great citizens. Enemy minus enmity is a friend. You see, a person who's lost his enmity is not an enemy anymore. We have to stop being enemy to ourselves first. That is what I'm telling people. This you can guide convicts and people to them. First, they hate themselves. That's why they're killing other people, because they see themselves in others. So many things we can change by just talking, listening. I'll tell one more example. This is 2004. Soon after the tsunami, so many things happened, and I was in Chennai. We had a lot of volunteers. So I segregated them based on their locality so they were able to travel. So when I met them second time, some of them said that, Mohanji, there's nobody poor in our place. So there's no seva to be done. Then I asked a question, is there an old age home there? In a place where old people, I said, yeah, there's an old age home, but they are a very posh community, very, very rich people's parents who do not have, who are very well settled. I said, go to that place. You know, you see them there, old people, but they are in the old age home. And all you have to do is to put your hand on their shoulder, put your hand on the shoulder and say, I love you. See what happens. Next time when I met them, these students were crying. Said, Mohanji, we never saw such saturated loneliness in anybody. They have family, they have rich children, their children are away, and nobody cares for them, and they have nothing to look forward to, and they're waiting for death. They have money. Only they have money, but nothing else. This is our society. What I mean to say is that we can be very sensitive, and we can be loving, and we can be kind. It is easy to say, ye sab nahi hoga. Hoga. Zarur hoga. Because we have that thing in us, where we love kindness because it expands us. Compassion expands us. Unconditional love, all those selflessness, they expand us. When you share, you feel rich. When you share food, I have one bread, you take one bread, we feel happy. We feel rich. This we can do. Same with animals, birds. See, we serve food in the waters. Yeah. We serve food in the air for the birds, earth, everything. And it makes us rich.
This Hindu-Muslim divide, etc. You see, मैं आर्मी में जब से गया था, हमको तो सिखाया गया था, we are all Indians first. My first company commander was Major Ahmad Ali Qureshi. Now Colonel Ahmad Ali Qureshi. He and my elder brother, who was killed in the 1965 war, they had served together as lieutenants. Mm-hmm. So quite obviously, he was very fond of me. And till this day, he's one of the persons I love. I mean, he was so sweet, so good-natured. I never thought of him as a Muslim or this thing or that thing. He was just like an elder brother. In lieu of my brother, who had unfortunately, we lost him in the 65 war. And he had been together. So the moment is, Srishti ka chota bhai hai, you know, and therefore he looked after me. Most of what I learned, as you learn a lot as a second lieutenant, I have the greatest of respect and regards. Even now we meet, we hug each other. I have never felt the bloody difference. My particular family, we are called the Hussaini Brahmins. Hussaini Brahmin, because when the Shia-Sunni conflict took place and the grandsons of the Prophet were being slaughtered, they asked for help. And it was my tribe that went to help.
No.
So all the Shias in the world, and especially, Shias close by who know this, they still call us Hussaini Brahmins. You know, Watan Sultan, Hindu ka dharam, Musalman ka iman. You know, I have never felt this difference. My father was
Correct.
studied in Lahore. He has the fondest memories of Lahore. And when he used, when I was young, as a kid, he was very fond of Sufi music, Sufi poetry, and Sher-o-Shairi.
Mm.
You know, so he used to take me to the Mushaira.
Yeah.
And I had a love for Sufi music, I still have.
Mm.
Because you see, look, it is your basic attitude. Religion is different, spirituality is different.
Correct.
Spirituality is universal.
Yeah.
You know, you find a nice human being. You don't need to ask him his religion or her religion or whatever. You know, it is just that there is that connect, like Guruji was saying. You know, be compassionate, and that is a universal language that you would speak. You know, of kindness, of love. What did Christ teach us? He taught us to love. Right? So, at the end of the day, the Indian ethos, Bharatiya ethos, is ekam sat vipra bahuda vadatti. वो सत्य एक है. हम उसे मांत्रिश्वान कहे, कुछ भी कहे, गरुड़ गुरुत्मान कहे, that truth is one. The wise call him by many names. Whether you call him Allah, you call him Jesus, you call him Buddha, you call him Rishi, you call him Devata. You know, that truth is one. There are many, many names. We don't fight because you call it water and I call it Tani. It is, I never would fight with you if your name was Kuku. Why not Papu? You know, I mean, it is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. You see, what Guruji was mentioning the other day was, you know, which was the first religion of the world? Shamanism. And it was universal. You know, the amazing thing. And when Guruji said that he is encouraging the indigenous people, it gave me goosebumps. Because that is the first religion of mankind, shamanism. Right? And you know the amazing fact? Today the globe is connected. Today I can fly from here to Toronto or London or wherever and back within the next day. Right? In that ancient time, 9, 10,000 years ago, what was the connectivity? How is it there that the South American shaman, the Mongolian shaman, the Siberian shaman, the Chinese shaman, the Orang, the Bir, the Birsa Munda here, their basic ideology is exactly the same. How did they communicate, man? How did they had no means, no radio, no television, no nothing. Yet, how is it that the Red Indian Avashik, the South American, you know, Inca, Olmec, you know, in fact, their basic ideology is exactly the same. You know, the greatest God, the great God above the sky, Father Sky, Earth, Mother, right? The masses of light, the Noor, you know, the mythology of a mountain which is the axis of the earth, Meru, Sumeru, the peak with a personality, right? The cosmic tree. Incidentally, it is part of shamanism all over.
Yeah.
The trees with branches of roots above and branches below. Urdhva Moolam Adham Shak. You know, that is the symbol which every shaman kept outside his hut. And what was the shaman? You know, the way of his religion. Earliest thing about a shaman child was they felt a child who likes to stay alone, who withdraws into the silence. And the shaman used to leave his village, leave his, you know, cluster of huts and go into the jungle. And he would stay there alone. Just alone, soaking in that silence. Right? And the earth was so quiet then, man. I'm talking about 9, 10,000 years, beginning of the agricultural revolution and all that. You see, to such a pristine silence. And he would go into euphoria and ecstasy. Shamanism is called the technique, the cult of ecstasy. He would go into ecstasy just in that silence. The more deeper you go with it, the more happiness you encounter, the more joy you encounter. I have meditated so I can feel that.
Mhm.
That is the gift of my meditation. You see, ecstasy, euphoria, happiness, bliss. You have to do nothing. It's just early morning, you are in the forest. And my Diksha Guru's ashram was in the forest.
Mm.
Grassroots hut. 15 years, he was an engineer. He was a corporate in a multinational corporation. 27, he chucks everything up and goes, stays in a forest. He taught me to love the forest. He taught me to, you know what his technique was? Early morning, 3 o'clock, get up, draw water from the well, take a bath, go to the temple, ancient Devi temple, do meditation 3-4 hours, take a walk in the forest. Then when I used to come back, he would ask one of the disciples to lay a mattress for me. There was a glade of 7 chardan trees.
Hmm.
Once you went there, nobody could see.
Mhm.
And you could see no one. And green chlorophyll alone. And he would ask me to stay there the whole day. No talking, no yakking, nothing. He said, you want to meditate, you meditate. You want to sit, you sit. You want to read, you read. You want to write, you write. But stay there alone. Shaam ko wapas aa.
Hmm.
This is between the Ajanta, Ellora, Pitalkhora. These are Buddhist caves.
Yes.
And in the center of it, there is a massive forest. And it is a massive forest with the 2nd century BCE. Pitalkhora caves, Buddhist caves. It's some place, it is a Tapovan.
Hmm.
You know what Guruji was talking about? There are 3 types of one. One is Mahavan. Mahavan is Chhattisgarh, Burma. You can get lost, you can die there. That is Mahavan. And the second one is Shrivan. Around every village, they would just plant these fruit trees, they would plant the medicinal plants, this thing and that, and they would grow. So Shri, if you can sell that, you get wealth, or if you give it, it feeds the people. The last is Tapovan. I have seen this Tapovan. This is, you want to get to it, you can get from Aurangabad, where you go for the Ellora caves.
Mhm.
You can get down and come to that forest. It is a Tapovan. Incidentally, Muktanand Maharaj had gone there for his meditation. My Guru had done 15 years of meditation in that forest. The Hindu religion is a religion of the forest, as opposed to the religion of the stark desert. You can't live alone in a desert. You can live alone in a forest. Fruits are there, trees are there, tubers. Aapko agar pata hai, you can live alone all your life in that forest. The forest will take care of you. And the photosynthesis that takes place. The sunlight falls on the trees suck out the water, right, from the earth. The sunlight falls on the split. It splits the water into hydrogen and oxygen. Hydrogen combines with carbon to make carbohydrates. You and I, our bodies are carbohydrates. And it gives off the oxygen, which you and I breathe. The miracle of life happens in the forest. There will be no life without that miracle. And the ancient shamans, they lived that miracle. A great amount of the Vedic wisdom is a carryover from there. Sky Father, Earth Mother, Dyava Prithvi. Dyava Prithvi. This is what the Vedas say. The Sky Father and the Earth Mother. And then, the whole philosophy of Indian philosophy is to my reckoning, to my mind. There are 2 basal outlooks. One is the outlook that nature is of use value. The pig is for me to slaughter and eat. The cow for whatever, But they're all use value to me. They have no feeling, no sentience, no nothing. In the shaman view, even if he had to hunt, he would first, beg forgiveness from the mother of the animals, of that particular species. I'm sorry, I take only that much which I need to eat. That is the level of symbiosis that was there at the forest civilization. there is a thing called Madhu Vidya. Ecology, depth ecology, what Swamiji is talking of, what Baba is talking of. There is a depth ecology of Brahman where they say that, the earth is honey, Madhu, to all its creatures. All its creatures are Madhu to this earth. There is cooperation. There is symbiotic relationships. It's not Charles Darwin's outlook of,
Evolution.
the strong eat the weak and survive, the weak perish. No, the Indian outlook is Madhu Vidya. There are harmony and cooperation. As long as you live with that, you will have, you will live a happy life. The more we are to use value, the nature is to be raped, the trees are to be cut,
Exploited.
exploited to the limit. Well, then we have wars. After all, you think the animals don't feel? You keep a pet and you will know how emotions, what emotions he has and the way he shows them is much more than by you and I show to one another. Man.
Yeah.
That little pet dog that just came in. And the way it just put this thing, So the thing is that I'm not so much about religion. One is about spirituality, which is universal. I have never seen a caste color creed in spirituality. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, we are all one family, one great family, because we all feel the same. Nobody likes to be ill-treated. Everybody likes to be loved. Everybody likes to be cared for. Compassionate behavior. There is that universality, I think, which we now need to get back to. That is the essence of it. Now, the unfortunate problem was in the era of Buddhism, we had turned absolutely pacific. Don't harm a fly. I mean, I know of monks, if they saw ants walking, they would
Go around.
The ant to be crushed saying, oh, why?
Everything is life. Everything is life.
Everything is life. Sarvai kaivalya vidam brahma. Pragyana Brahma. Consciousness is Brahma. That ant is conscious. That little spider is conscious. So don't squash it.
Yes. Hunger is a universal language. It doesn't have any religion. When people ask me what's your religion, I said the same religion of the birds and the animals. And that's what we are. Humanity is our religion. And we should live as human beings because we don't have a lot of time on earth in a body. About 30,000 days, 35,000 days, we are gone. That's all we have. So in this time, what kind of message are you giving with your life? Point number one. Another thing is, like Bakshi Sahib said, I believe in spirituality, which is a universal language. There's no barrier. There's no religion. There's no boundary. There's no color, caste, country, anything. That language has much more relevance today. Religion is your personal choice. You want to follow a particular religion which gives you satisfaction, it's up to you. But don't push it on other people. And another thing is that I really don't understand conversion. It's like changing a shirt. You're still the same garbage inside. And if you think that another God will come and help you, where is that God? And what kind of guarantee? So there are so many things which are not understood or manipulated in the whole system. Okay, that's another thing. Now about the culture and civilization, like we said, the world needs to have more alternative lifestyles. Not that you go back to the forest, but understand the forest and the connection with our lives. Just like I said, we look at animals as objects, just like women as objects, animals as objects. So the connection is lost. It's disconnection. With disconnection, you can never have naturality. When you're disconnected, you're partial. You cannot be full and complete. So any animal that we use for our consumption dies with happiness. They are murdered. So when we consume animals, we are participating in murder. And that scar or that stain doesn't go away. Maybe it's a habit, or we are unconscious, or we don't care, but we have no right to take a life. Just like what Major Bakshi said now, we should consciously walk. If possible, unconsciously, sometimes we walk over anything. But it's a tragedy to a clan, you know. If you walk over an ant or a few ants, it's a tragedy to a clan. Just like a disaster kills our people, it's a tragedy to many people. Wars are madness. Wars should never happen. It displaces people, it kills and it completely sometimes destroys families. Likewise, hunting destroys clans. There is a structure in every clan, even animals, that's disturbed. That affects the ecosystem. Everything gets affected. So, I was trying to connect the indigenous people since some time, and we have achieved a lot of success now. So, what I like in them is that they are natural. They love the forest. They respect the animals, as you said. They don't just kill indiscriminately. They have, like one of the tribes we talk about, they don't even kill. They only take animals which are already killed by the other animals, you know, in the forest. They live in the forest, but they don't personally kill. They follow the hunting animals, and then they drive them away and take up pieces of flesh and come back. So there are, many types of culture I learned when I understood how they live. Very ethical. There is a discipline, ethics, respect, and connection. Like the shamans used to communicate with each other. Even our saints used to do that. Even Nath tradition, etc. Nath tradition, they never meet, but they talk. They all do their job, but they communicate. Apas mein baat hote hai, baatcheet hote hai. So this is definitely. And these shamans are wisdom keepers. And every country, everywhere. We are working with Amazon tribes since 6 years. And Colombian tribes since a long time. Working with Zulu tribes. We have Sami tribes from Arctic Circle, Norway, Sweden, Russia. Then Aboriginal tribes from Australia, Maori from New Zealand. They're all meeting together, coming together first time in South Africa, in Cape Town, in November. The idea is that it's a unification. One condition is that they all follow their original tradition. This is the only condition. I mean, they are still original. One word for that is preservation of culture and nature. Culture is indigenous culture. Original indigenous culture. Some people call it pagan culture. And the other is nature, because they are integrated to nature. When we protect their culture, nature gets protected. So we have been planting fruit saplings in forests for long, and they were supporting us. So now it is extended to a much larger peripherals. And once this is done, two things we are planning. One is that preserving their wisdom. Everything cannot be conveyed, but whatever can be conveyed experientially, it's not about medicines only. People think that shamans means medicines, ayahuasca and all this. That's not it. They have various different things with them, all connected to nature. Like I was talking to one person, he was a specialist in plant medicine in Colombia. And that person says, I asked him, how do you know the essence of each plant? So he said, they come and talk to me. I said, how? In human form. Means he meditates and asks some question telepathically, and they will take their time. Then they appear and say, this plant has these specialities or its essence, and that they can use for a particular thing. So they have great wisdom which we have totally ignored. And also, please, if you remember our Ayurveda, we have not been killing hundreds of animals for creating Ayurvedic medicines. They are from the nature. Similarly, these people never put it on animals or anything. They don't disturb any species. No species is disturbed. They still have powerful medicines which can really give so many things to the humankind. We are not trying to sell their medicines, but what I'm saying is that we keep the wisdom, bring it together for the sake of another generations or the future generations. So this is something which I thought is the most important thing to do now. No, we are not trying to change them. We insist that they should be original. They should stay with their originality. And that's what's going to help the world. So this is the World Tribal Alliance, WTA, registered in London. It's operated from Brazil. And the conference is going to be in South Africa, in Cape Town, in November. Why in Cape Town is also because there is a friend of ours, you might have heard the name Craig Foster. He is an Oscar winner for his movie October's Teacher. He suggested, this is the cradle of human existence. Why don't you bring all the tribals here? So it's almost like a restart, a new beginning. One more thing is about life and the respect for life. So one tribe who's part of our host team, they have a system where before they start something important, they sacrifice cows or bulls, red colored. One in the east, one in the west, one in the north, and one in the south, four sides. So that this is protected. So we spoke to them and said, we don't like to kill them. We don't like to kill anything. So they respected. They said, Mohanji does not like to kill an animal. No. Then we'll keep them for him. So we adopted 4 of them. It's happened last week. So they have sacrificed mentally, but they are still alive. So they are very receptive. They have understanding, and they're adaptable to great extent, and they respected our view that because of us nobody should die. For our sake nobody should die. No animal. So we gave them names. Now they are preserving them. We are paying for it. But the thing is, this culture of compassion is real and essential for the world to survive in the future. Wars start from abattoirs. When we have no qualm to shed the blood of any other being, that will reflect back on the human species also. I'm a practicing vegan only because of cruelty. I cannot stand cruelty. Taking lives indiscriminately, separating mothers and children of other species indiscriminately, and the agony they go through, because every mother cries and mourns the absence of their child, just like humans. But we don't care. We still drink milk, ignoring the death of the children of that species. This is actually destroying the human fabric also at this point in time. So what's your take on it?
I couldn't agree more with you, Mohanji. The simple fact is that today we are seeing wars and violence emerge, which emerges cyclically. World War I, World War II, now we are heading for World War III. It looks like the Ukraine-Russia conflict hasn't stopped for the last 3.5 years. Look at the killing, the bombings, the flattening of cities, that how many people killed, then it's reaching across millions.
By the way, some Vedic astrologers predicted that 2029, 2030, 31 are exactly like the Kurukshetra planetary
stars.
It's the same stars.
So my point is, why is this happening? And I couldn't agree more with him. This is the collective karma of humanity. When you kill ruthlessly, cruelly, slaughter on an industrial basis.
Yes.
Industrial basis, if the millions, you think somewhere it's not going to come back?
Karma
it is
comes
coming back.
It's coming
and
back.
Then you will have wars to fight. So we can be as pacific as we want. But as long as mankind doesn't correct its, basic error, karmic error of being unkind to the rest of life, rest of consciousness, you see, and the only thing is that whatever you do will come back to you. You see, if we are all conscious, if we are all part of that Brahman, when I kill somebody, I'm doing it to myself. It will get done to me so that I feel it exactly as to what he, she or it feels. We would in fact.
Felt.
So I think one of the reasons for your cyclic wars in humanity is look at your callousness. look at your cruelty to every other form of life. And if you think it's going to be without consequences, think again.
Indifference and insensitivity towards the plight of others comes back. Karma always comes back.
With those words, I'd like to thank my Guru Mohanji for sparing time and giving us, in fact, blessing us to host a podcast in Delhi. The ever-charming, one of the dashing army men, General G.D. Bakshi ji, who shared his thoughts about spirituality and his views about humanity, about how our country should be, and what I gathered here are a variety of things. And in the end, what we give will always come back. Thank you for tuning into Munish Jolly's Dugout.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mohanji.
Thank you.